Hello, my friend. Welcome to Yoga for Life. I'm Carrie. I'm glad you're here, and today we're diving into a practice that I love. I love to share it. I love to do it. It's definitely been a real go-to as I get older. So come on along with me. You'll need probably 2 blocks or something of their equivalent, a blanket, mat or floor space, and get into something comfortable, and I'll see you soon. We're going to start in butterfly, a classic yin pose. And with that, again, I've got something warm underneath me, just a blanket over a piece of floor. And a butterfly pose in yin tradition is a very loose diamond shape. You're going to put your bottoms of your feet together, knees bent. Rock back and forth a little bit so you find that front edge of your sit bone. You can also sit on a folded blanket. This is a practice where we're gently stressing the connective tissue, the fascial tissue of the joints, rather than a muscular practice where we're deeply engaging muscles. So in the butterfly, you're going to lengthen your spine. Soften your shoulders. Bring yourself to a place of landing, gathering yourself to begin your practice. And as you exhale, on that next exhale, slowly leading out with the head, drop your chin, and you're slowly going to round the spine, taking several breaths to find your way in. This is a practice that invites a lot of deep listening. And you're going to come to a place where you will meet a place of resistance. We call it the edge. And you're just going to stop there. This is not about pushing open the door of resistance with any force. It's allowing yourself to receive the information that your body's giving you. So letting the head get heavy, the shoulders. You might like a block to put just on the inside of the ankles here. And let your head rest here. Just allowing an even and steady flow to your breath. And we're going to start over because I didn't have my handy dandy timer. All right. Take 2 of the second part. We're going to start in a butterfly. A yin butterfly is a very loose diamond shape. The bottoms of your feet together. You find your sit bones. Knees out to the side and allowing gravity to inform the legs of how deep and how challenging this might be for you. You're going to lengthen the spine, and we're going to hold these poses for a period of time. I've got my little old-fashioned egg timer here for 3 minutes. So once we get into the pose, I'll turn that over. Each pose will hold for a little bit longer time. So you're going to lengthen your spine, maybe grab the block to have that near you. And as you exhale, you can allow the head, the shoulders, the torso to round forward, soften the belly, and maybe taking several breaths to come down. letting the head, the shoulders, your torso release gently into gravity, and you'll probably meet what we call the edge, that place of resistance. Now, whether or not you're deeply into the pose or whether or not you are up with just the chin tucked and the head relaxed forward, you're going to find the place that feels appropriate for you to start. Soften the inside of the mouth. And once you're in that place, you're going to check in with the muscles of the thighs and invite them to soften. Deeply into the hip sockets, probably our target area for this pose, as well as the lower back. And as we hold for a period of time, you might notice the invitation to come a little deeper. And you'll come to that next edge. You might like a block underneath your head. And then softening into stillness. In our yin practice, we are gently stressing the joint, the connective tissue, the fascial tissue that connects muscle into bone, that gently hydrates with a prolonged gentle stress to the tissue. Once you find your way in, ask yourself, where else can I soften? Where can I release a little bit more tightness or tension? Notice if you get fidgety. Just be aware of that. Invite the mind back to the breath, back to a place of curiosity. What am I noticing inside? How do I feel? How do the joints, the hips, the lower back feel? Sometimes it feels to me like I'm peeling back layers. Inviting in a deeper layer and level of awareness. And we're going to give that 2 more breaths. And then slowly roll the spine up. Take your time. This is not a practice where we move quickly in or out of a pose. You want to let everything reconfigure as you lengthen. Bring your hands to underside of the knees and gently straighten out your legs. Another piece of our yin practice is the rest pose. So coming down all the way onto your back, the legs be spacious, arms out to your sides. Soften and feel the flow of energy moving through especially to the front of the groin area, from the legs into the belly down into the legs. Feel the deep rest of the muscles and the bones of the back. Let the heart rest the shoulders. Let your body receive. Pay attention to what you notice. Good. And bend your knees, roll to your side. Roll the spine up. Coming into melting heart, where we soften that inside space of the heart, allow the upper body to soften. And you can come down to your elbows, your knees are high. Sorry, your hips are high, your knees are wide-ish, maybe just a little bit wider than your knees and your hips. Let's try that again. And then bending your knees, roll to your side, roll the spine up, and we'll come into melting heart. Keeping your hips high, knees open, just a little wider than maybe the sit bones in the center of the hips. Elbows down, and this is a practice of really softening the inside surface of the spine and softening the space around the hips. Letting the forehead come down. And you can keep your arms nice and long, or a variation that I like to do is to bend the elbows and bring the hands, palms together into Anjali Mudra. And allow a softness from there. Soften the toes, the bottoms of your feet. And again, we're in this for about 2.5, 3 minutes. In stillness, in quiet, in a place of receiving and listening. If your mind begins to wander and you're fidgeting and you're wondering how much longer, just bring the mind back to the breath, to curiosity. What are you noticing inside? Being gentle with yourself, never pushing, gently releasing. And we'll give this 2 more breaths. And then on an inhale, slowly coming back. Open the knees, coming into a wide child. And maybe pillow your hands, rest your head down. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can turn the head to the side. Letting the spine, the shoulders, letting everything soften. I love this pose because it feels like my inner thighs are giving my rib cage and my heart a little bit of a hug. Gently resting. Good. On an in-breath, coming back up into a pose that's called dragonfly. And it is a wide-angled, wide in the capacity of a width that feels comfortable and safe to you. You might want to fold a blanket underneath your hips. Let the backs of the knees be soft. This is not about stretching the inner thighs, the hamstrings, the musculature system. This is about gently stressing the energy very softly at the back of the knees into the hips and gently into the lower back. So bounce the knees a little bit, make sure that they're soft. You might like a block to rest your elbows on or your head, or maybe a folded blanket or a cushion or a bolster. And we're going to start the spine nice and long. Soften the tops of your shoulders, inside of the mouth. And as you exhale, gently walk your hands, lower the head, soften the chin, walk your hands forward. Notice when your body tells you it's met that place of resistance, that edge, place where it says stop for a moment here. And I want you to listen to that. This is very much a practice of not bypassing the body's wisdom, but releasing, allowing, just loving into it. And maybe after a couple of breaths there, you might notice there's a little opportunity to come a little bit, maybe deeper into the pose, maybe not. All of it's perfect. There's no right or wrong here. There's developing this beautiful capacity to respect and to listen to our body's wisdom. If you want to support your head, you might put a block to the height or the capacity that works for you. A variation that I like is to bend my elbows and bring my palms together and just rest my forehead on the back side of my thumbs. Let the ankles roll and be soft. And as you rest here for about 3 minutes, begin to direct your attention into the deep energy of the pelvic floor, the hip joints, the lower back. Maybe space inside your knees. Check in with your ankles, your toes. Let them soften. Let go. Resting deeper and deeper into yourself. The breath quiet and steady. Notice in these last couple of breaths if there's areas of the thighs that have begun to tense up a little bit. Kind of creeps up on you, I find. Offer them an exhale, an invitation. To soften. And give this 2 more breaths. And then rolling the spine up. Again, moving slowly, check in through the shoulders, mouth, and gently pull up on the knees. Bring them in, just give yourself a gentle hug. Good. Come on down onto your belly. Resting here for a minute. Legs soft and wide, ankles in or out, whatever feels appropriate and comfortable for you. Pillow your head or let your arms rest by the sides. Take a moment here to feel again to the inside of the groin and the belly, also the back body, lower back, inside your hips and thighs. Receiving, these rest poses are very conscious. They're allowing an integration of these streams of energy that have just been opened. The meridians run deeply through the connective tissue. And so we're working deeply in the meridian system that flows through the hips, through the legs, through the spine, wherever area we're targeting with our pose. Good. All right. Come up onto your elbows, pull your hips back. We're going to come into swan. And for many of you in a young practice, this would be pigeon. You might like a folded blanket. I'm going to start with my right knee, bent and forward. You could either put this underneath the pelvic floor or just underneath if you'd like that right thigh and hip. Or if you don't need it, don't use it. I'm going to pull my right knee forward. Slowly settle the hip back onto the blanket, or in my case, I'm a little better without the blanket. And take a moment to find your way in. There's always that place of what is the depth that feels appropriate? What do I need to adjust? What support do I want? Remembering that we're targeting the joints, so it's not about stretching the muscles. It's about gently stressing the joint system. And then from here, coming down to the elbows or onto a bolster or folded blanket. You might like that underneath your torso. So one thing you might notice as you settle in that there is an opportunity to revisit the different areas of your body that have needed engagement to get into the pose. So there's always this dance of the yin and the yang. We need the engagement to transition. We need the engagement of the muscles to find our way in. And then, once we're there, with great awareness, we gradually let the muscles soften and focus the mind into the target area, into maybe the inside of that right hip. You might notice the front opening of the left hip, that space between the two sides of your body. You might notice that right knee. Make sure it feels safe. You're gently stressing the knee joint, but you never want to be in pain. And there's an interesting dance between maybe feeling some discomfort, but never pain. So that's a place to cultivate and to sit with in curiosity. We're going to give this 2 more breaths. And slowly walk the spine up. And then pull the hips up, slide that right knee back, and come on back down onto your belly. Into a prone rest pose. And feel the energy just flood through and into that whole right side of your hip. Letting your body receive the pose. Soften the shoulders, the inside of the mouth. Good. One more breath. And then pulling the hips back up again. Transitioning through tabletop position, and you're going to bring that left knee forward. And again, if you want a folded blanket, cushion, a block, bolster, underneath that left hip or right through the base of the pelvic floor. Please make sure you take care of yourself. Stretching out that right leg behind you, softening that, make sure everything feels safe. And then slowly coming into what's called sleeping swan, coming down a little bit. That might be just reaching forward with your hands. It might be down onto your elbows with maybe a blanket or block underneath you. For some of you, it might be all the way down. About 1 more minute left. Might do a little internal scan. Check in with the jaw, the tongue. Soften the energy down the spine, especially through the shoulders. Check into your target area of that left hip, lower back, the front of the right. The muscles of the thighs, let them go. Check in with that left knee. Make sure it's feeling safe. All the way down through to the ankles, that right ankle, left ankle, the bottoms of your feet, your toes. Give that one more breath. Good. And gently roll the spine up. Lifting the heart. Be noticing the quality of the breath. And then pulling back, and we're going to come into rest pose on our back before we come into our final pose. Feel the back body. Notice now that left hip in relation to the right hip. As we work both sides of the body, feel the energy flow through, maybe with greater capacity, into the inside and through the inside of that left hip socket, up into the lower back, resting the heart, the shoulders, the hands, the head. All right, we're going to finish off in a reclining twist called Twisted Roots. So bend your knees. And we're going to take that right leg, bring it up and around and wrap all the way around to the left side. Some of you might be able to wrap all the way around through the ankles. It's just an option. If it's not feeling safe or good for your body, then don't go there. Lift up and tuck under that left hip. And slowly on your exhale, begin to let gravity take the weight of both knees rolling out to the left side of your body. Open up your right arm. Let your right arm gently rest on the floor to the side and turn your head to the right. Relax the feet and the ankles. And you're not forcing this twist to happen. So there's a real mindfulness shift, moving in our yin practice to a place of allowing. You're allowing gravity to receive the weight of your knees. You're inviting a softness. Inside the body, and gently adjust. Opening with deep love and compassion the whole right side of your body, from outside of the thigh, through the rib cage, into the inside of that right shoulder, all the way up to your fingertips.
And give that 2 more breaths. And carefully bring your head back to center. Pull up the knees, maybe very slowly bring the spine back to neutral. Uncross the legs and let the legs both lengthen out. Just windshield wiper them from side to side. Maybe bounce the backs of your knees. Feel that right side of your body. Hip. Inside of the groin. Let's finish off on bringing the left knee up. So bend both knees. You're going to bring up and cross over that left leg right close to the groin. Tuck under the right hip. Slowly begin to drop both legs out to the right, to the degree that feels safe. So shifting, moving, until you find this position in your body. I'm going to open the left arm out to the side, turn the head to the left. And then bring my awareness back deeply inside. Where else can I soften? Where can I allow a little bit deeper release into the pull of gravity? Noticing resistance. Noticing that edge where your body says, this is far enough. Letting the body become still and quiet. And give that one more breath. And then on your next inhale, bring the head back to neutral. Bring the arms in, slowly help the knees up. Careful the lower back. Bring that left leg up and around. And carefully bring the spine back to center. Coming into final relaxation pose called pentacle. Legs wide open and soft, arms out to the sides. I often like to put a folded blanket, give myself a little bit of weight over the belly and up into the chest area. I find it very calming. You may or may not like that. But get yourself warm and safe if you want a folded blanket over your whole body. And again, we'll be here for about 3 minutes. Get my little timer. And I'll always give you a warning, 1 or 2 more breaths or an inhale. Letting your bones get heavy, softening that space in and around the heart, the back of the shoulder blades. The arms be soft, the legs ankles, the bottoms of your feet. Gradually settling, feeling the weight of your head. Becoming still with such deep love and compassion for your body to receive this practice, this beautiful self-care. With deep reverence and tenderness. Stay with the breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale. You stretch the body a little bit from the inside out. Bend your knees and give yourself a little hug. Roll to the side. Make your way back up to seated. Find your sit bones. Resting deep in your own light, heart, and breath. May it serve. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.